Welcome to the channel. Here, we honor the legendary figures we've lost, but whose legacies continue to inspire us every day. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and turn on the bell so you never miss a tribute. Stick around till the end, we promise there's always something meaningful waiting for you. Leslie Charlson, born on February 22, 1945, in Kansas City, Missouri, was a celebrated American actress whose career spanned over 6 decades. She was best known for her iconic portrayal of Monica Quartermaine on the long-running ABC soap opera General Hospital. Her work earned her widespread recognition, making her a household name and a beloved figure in daytime television. Charlson's entry into the entertainment industry began in 1964 when she landed a role on the short-lived ABC soap opera A Flame in the Wind. This marked the start of her journey in daytime television, a medium that would define much of her career. In 1966, she joined the cast of As the World Turns, further establishing her presence in the genre. Her talent and versatility quickly became evident, earning her more significant opportunities. In 1967, Charlson joined the CBS soap opera Love Is a Many-Splendored Thing, where she played Iris Donnelly Garrison. This role placed her at the center of a highly popular love triangle alongside David Burney and Donna Mills. Charlson's performance captivated audiences, solidifying her status as a talented actress capable of delivering depth and emotion to her characters. Her time on the show lasted until 1970, after which she began exploring other roles in television and film. Throughout the 1970s, Charlson became a familiar face to TV audiences, guest starring on numerous popular series such as Adam, 12, Emergency, Ironside, Mannix, Marcus Welby, M.D., Happy Days, Cannon, The Streets of San Francisco, and The Rockford Files. Her ability to adapt to various genres and roles demonstrated her range as an actress. She also ventured into film, appearing in the 1973 science fiction movie The Day of the Dolphin and co-starring alongside Shelley Winters in the 1971 television thriller Revenge. Charlson was not only active in guest appearances but also pursued lead roles in television pilots. Notable among these was the 1975 sitcom pilot Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. Unfortunately, these pilots did not lead to series, but they showcased her ability to carry a leading role, further cementing her reputation in the industry. In 1977, Charlson took on the role that would define her career, Monica Quartermaine on General Hospital. This opportunity arose when Fred Silverman, then president of ABC, approached her to join the struggling soap opera, which was near cancellation at the time. Charlson's addition to the cast marked a turning point for the show. Her portrayal of Monica Quartermaine brought complexity and nuance to the character, making her one of the most compelling figures in daytime television. Her work on General Hospital earned her critical acclaim and multiple nominations for the Daytime Emmy Award for Outstanding Lead Actress in a Drama Series, specifically in 1980, 1982, 1983, and 1995. Charlson's character, Monica, was central to many of the show's most memorable storylines, and her performances resonated with viewers, contributing significantly to the show's resurgence and enduring popularity. Beyond her work on General Hospital, Charlson continued to explore other acting opportunities. In 1993, she starred alongside Deidre Hall and Colleen Zenk in the made-for-television movie Woman on the Ledge. Her ability to balance her commitments to General Hospital while taking on other projects demonstrated her dedication and work ethic. In the early 2000s, Charlson made guest appearances on popular sitcoms, including Dharma and Greg in 2001 and Friends in 2004. These roles showcased her versatility and her ability to transition seamlessly between drama and comedy. In 2010, after decades as a mainstay on General Hospital, Charlson was transitioned to recurring status. This shift marked a new phase in her career, yet her presence on the show remained impactful. By the time of her passing, she held the distinction of being the longest-serving cast member of General Hospital, a testament to her dedication and the lasting impression she left on both the show and its audience. Leslie Charlson's influence extended beyond her on-screen work. She was admired by colleagues and fans for her professionalism, grace, and genuine passion for her craft. Her longevity in the industry was a rare achievement, reflecting her talent, adaptability, and the deep connection she fostered with her audience. Charleson passed away on January 12, 2025, at the age of 79. Her later years were marked by health challenges, including mobility issues caused by multiple falls. According to reports, she had been hospitalized the week before her death due to one of these incidents. Despite these struggles, her legacy as a talented and beloved actress remains intact. Her extensive body of work, particularly her role as Monica Quartermaine, ensured her place as a cherished figure in the history of daytime television. Leslie Charleson's contributions to the entertainment industry will be remembered and celebrated by fans and colleagues alike. Lance Thomas Morrow, born on September 21, 1939, in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, was an esteemed American essayist and writer, widely known for his prolific contributions to Time magazine and his incisive commentary on contemporary issues. Over a career spanning several decades, Morrow distinguished himself as one of the most influential voices in journalism, penning essays that captured the complexities of the human experience and the evolving American ethos. His work earned him critical acclaim, including the National Magazine Award for Essay and Criticism in 1981, and he left an indelible mark on the field of journalism. Raised in Washington, D.C., Morrow attended Gonzaga College High School before graduating magna cum laude from Harvard University in 1963 with a degree in English literature. His father, Hugh Morrow, served as a key aide to New York Governor and Vice President Nelson Rockefeller, a connection that likely influenced Morrow's early exposure to politics and public life. Morrow began his journalism career at the now-defunct Washington Star before joining Time in 1965. As a reporter, he covered some of the most significant events of the era, including the 1967 Detroit race riots, the Vietnam War, the Nixon administration, and the Watergate scandal. These assignments honed his skills as a journalist and provided him with a deep understanding of the socio-political landscape of the United States. By 1976, Morrow had become a regular writer for Time's Backpage Essay, a platform he used to explore themes ranging from morality and politics to human nature and cultural shifts. His essays were known for their eloquence, depth, and thought-provoking insights. His ability to distill complex topics into compelling narratives earned him the National Magazine Award in 1981 and a finalist spot in 1991 for his essay on the nature of evil. He was also part of the team that won the award in 2001 for Time's coverage of the September 11 attacks. Morrow's post-9/11 essay, The Case for Rage and Retribution, became one of his most controversial and widely discussed works. It reflected the collective anger and grief of a nation while challenging readers to confront difficult questions about justice, vengeance, and the moral imperatives of a civilized society. His powerful prose and unflinching perspective cemented his reputation as a writer unafraid to grapple with the darker facets of human nature. Beyond his contributions to Time, Morrow authored several books, including Heart, a memoir reflecting on his life and health struggles following multiple heart attacks, beginning at the age of 36. His personal experiences imbued his writing with a rare authenticity and vulnerability, resonating deeply with readers. In 2006, he was tasked with writing the authorized biography of Henry Luce, the founder of Time magazine, further solidifying his connection to the publication that defined much of his career. Morrow also shared his expertise as a professor of journalism and university professor at Boston University from 1996 to 2006. His role as an educator allowed him to mentor aspiring journalists and impart the values of intellectual rigor, clarity, and integrity that characterized his own work. In his later years, Morrow continued to write prolifically, contributing to publications such as City Journal and the Wall Street Journal. He remained a keen observer of societal trends and political dynamics, offering commentary that was as incisive in his final years as it had been at the height of his career. Morrow's personal life was as rich and layered as his professional one. He married author Susan Bryant Morrow in 1988, following his first marriage to Brooke Wayne, with whom he had 2 sons. The couple resided in Spencertown, New York, where Morrow found solace in the quietude of rural life. His cousin, science fiction writer James K. Morrow, shared his literary inclination, hinting at a family lineage of storytelling and intellectual pursuit. Throughout his life, Morrow faced significant health challenges, including 4 heart attacks and, later, prostate cancer. Despite these obstacles, he remained steadfast in his commitment to his craft, writing until the final months of his life. He passed away at home on November 29, 2024, at the age of 85, surrounded by the love of his family. Lance Morrow's legacy lies not only in the awards and accolades he received but also in the profound impact of his words on readers and the field of journalism. His essays, marked by intellectual depth and moral clarity, continue to serve as a testament to the enduring power of thoughtful, well-crafted storytelling. George Joseph Kresge Jr., better known as the Amazing Kreskin, was an iconic American mentalist whose remarkable career spanned over 6 decades. Born on January 12, 1935, in Montclair, New Jersey, Kreskin grew up in West Caldwell, where he spent most of his life. From an early age, he was fascinated by mentalism, inspired by Lee Falk's comic strip Mandrake the Magician, which portrayed a crime-fighting stage magician. This early influence shaped his lifelong dedication to the art of suggestion, influence, and the human mind. Kreskin's family background reflected the rich diversity of immigrant America. His father, of Polish descent, worked for a battery manufacturer, while his mother was of Sicilian heritage. Kreskin's upbringing instilled in him a strong work ethic and a deep curiosity about human behavior. He later attended Seton Hall University, earning a degree in psychology. This academic foundation contributed to his unique mentalist act, blending psychological principles with theatrical flair. Kreskin's professional career began modestly, performing for small audiences while working as a clinical psychologist. However, his talent for captivating and influencing crowds quickly set him apart. His first big break came in 1964 when he appeared on The Steve Allen Show, a moment that introduced him to a national audience. It was during this period that Johnny Carson, host of The Tonight Show, dubbed him the Amazing Kreskin, a title that stuck and became synonymous with his persona. Carson's comedic creation, Karnak the Magnificent, was reportedly inspired by Kreskin's memorable stage presence and unique abilities. Kreskin gained widespread fame in the 1970s through his television series The Amazing World of Kreskin, which aired from 1972 to 1975 in Canada and was syndicated in the United States. The show, filmed at studios in Ottawa and Toronto, showcased his incredible feats of mentalism. His act often involved reading minds, predicting outcomes, and influencing audience members in ways that seemed almost supernatural, though Kreskin always emphasized that his skills were grounded in suggestion and psychology, not psychic powers. One of his most famous routines was the hidden paycheck trick, where audience members hid his payment for the show, and Kreskin had to locate it using only his mentalist abilities. This act, which he performed thousands of times, became a hallmark of his career, and he prided himself on rarely failing to find the check. However, when he did fail, on fewer than a dozen occasions, it only added to his reputation for honesty and transparency about the limits of his abilities. Kreskin's television appearances extended far beyond his own series. Over the decades, he became a familiar face on talk shows, including nearly 100 appearances each on The Mike Douglas Show and The Merv Griffin Show. He also appeared on The Tonight Show 88 times, solidifying his place as one of America's most recognizable entertainers. In the 1980s and 1990s, he regained prominence through regular guest spots on Late Night with David Letterman and The Howard Stern Show, as well as over 100 appearances on Live with Regis and Kathy Lee. In 2009, he became the first guest to make 4 appearances on Late Night with Jimmy Fallon. Despite his reputation for seemingly supernatural feats, Kreskin consistently distanced himself from claims of psychic powers. He described his work as the result of psychological insight and finely honed observational skills. This distinction was important to him, as he sought to separate his art from the pseudoscience often associated with psychics. Kreskin even taught law enforcement groups techniques for detecting lies and recovering lost memories, showcasing the practical applications of his expertise. Throughout his career, Kreskin was not immune to controversy. In 2002, he predicted a mass UFO sighting over Las Vegas, claiming that thousands of people would witness the event. When no such sighting occurred, Kreskin explained it as an experiment to demonstrate the power of suggestion. While this explanation alienated some fans, it underscored his commitment to exploring the psychological mechanisms behind belief and perception. Kreskin's influence extended into popular culture. The 2008 film The Great Buck Howard, starring John Malkovich, was loosely based on the experiences of writer-director Sean McGinley, who had worked as Kreskin's road manager. Kreskin himself remained active into the 2020s, performing live shows, appearing on television, and even lending his voice to animated projects. His final public performance, a virtual seminar on the use of pendulums, took place in March 2024. Despite his fame, Kreskin led a private life. He never married and had no children, dedicating himself entirely to his craft. He remained a lifelong resident of suburban New Jersey, living in North Caldwell and later Caldwell. In his later years, he faced health challenges, including a fall in early 2024 that forced him to retire from performing. He passed away on December 10, 2024, at the age of 89, from complications of dementia in an assisted living facility in Wayne, New Jersey. Kreskin's legacy is one of entertainment, curiosity, and a deep respect for the potential of the human mind. His work bridged the worlds of magic, psychology, and performance art, captivating millions while challenging them to consider the power of suggestion and the mysteries of perception. Even in death, the amazing Kreskin remains a symbol of the extraordinary potential within us all. Peter Waters Dingley, known professionally as Johnny Walker, was born on March 30, 1945, in Oulton, Warwickshire, England, and became one of the most beloved and iconic radio personalities in the UK. His career began in 1966 when he joined the popular pirate radio station Swinging Radio England, before moving on to Radio Caroline. In 1969, he became one of the hosts at BBC Radio 1, where his name became synonymous with British radio culture. From 1998 onwards, Johnny Walker became a staple of BBC Radio 2, where he continued to make his mark, hosting programs like Sounds of the 70s and the Radio 2 Rock Show. His career was full of twists and turns, but his unwavering love for music and his audience kept him relevant for decades. Johnny Walker was born into a family with a rich history in local industry. His father, who worked in electroplating equipment for car parts at W. Canning and Company in Birmingham, and his mother, Mary Dingley, a conservative counselor in Solihull from 1979 to 1991, both played significant roles in the community. Growing up in Solihull, Johnny attended two independent schools, Ruckley School and Solihull School. Although his academic record wasn't stellar, failing his O-level exams, he developed a deep interest in music during his school years. He also enjoyed playing rugby, but his real passion was always in music. After his academic struggles, Johnny briefly pursued a career as a garage manager's apprentice, later studying for a City and Guilds qualification in motor mechanics at Gloucester Technical College. His original aspiration was to become a car salesman, but music was always calling him. He began his journey into the world of radio as a DJ, performing at local bars and ballrooms, where he first honed his craft. It was clear that radio, and not car sales, was his true calling. His big break came in May 1966 when he joined Swinging Radio England, one of the leading offshore pirate radio stations. The pirate stations were considered illegal by the British government, but they became hugely popular, offering a new platform for music that mainstream BBC stations did not provide at the time. Radio Caroline, another famous pirate station, also became a major part of Johnny Walker's early career. After the government crackdown forced the closure of pirate stations in 1967, Johnny and a few other presenters continued broadcasting on Radio Caroline until 1968. His theme tune during this time was Dwayne Eddy's 1960 hit, Because They're Young, a track he would later rework into the intro for his Radio 2 drive time show. In 1969, Johnny Walker's career reached new heights when he joined BBC Radio 1. He began with a 2-hour Saturday afternoon show and quickly gained a following. By 1970, he moved to a weekday morning show, before transitioning into the lunchtime slot in 1971. His show featured a popular music quiz called Pop the Question, and a weekly chart rundown based on research from the British Market Research Bureau. His ability to connect with listeners made him a key figure at Radio 1 throughout the 1970s. In 1976, Walker's relationship with BBC management became strained after he expressed his opinion about the music being played on Radio 1, particularly criticizing the Bay City Rollers hit, Give a Little Love, calling it musical garbage. This controversy led him to leave Radio 1 and move to the United States. For 5 years, he worked for various radio stations in the U.S., including KSAN in San Francisco, KPFA in Berkeley, and WHFS in Bethesda, Maryland. He also recorded shows for Radio Luxembourg before a mishap in the studio, taping a record at the wrong speed while partying, caused him to take a step back. By the early 1980s, Walker returned to the UK and began working in local radio. He presented an evening show on Radio West and later worked at Wiltshire Radio, where he was part of the team that formed GWR after the merger of the two stations. In 1987, Walker rejoined BBC Radio 1, this time presenting the stereo sequence, which later became known as the Saturday sequence. The show was popular, and he continued to build a loyal following. His career took another turn in 1988 when he joined BBC GLR, the BBC's new local radio station in London. He presented a weekday slot, and after a few months, he moved to the 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. slot, where his witty and engaging style helped him stand out among other presenters. In 1990, he became a host at BBC Radio 5, presenting This Family Business and later the AM Alternative. Despite his popularity, his career at BBC GLR was short-lived after a comment he made regarding the resignation of Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher led to his dismissal from the station. Walker continued his career at BBC Radio 5, but in 1991, he returned to Radio 1 and resumed hosting the Saturday sequence, which was eventually renamed The Saturday Show. His time at Radio 1 continued until 1995, after which he briefly worked at London's talk radio station LBC and Classic Gold stations around the UK. In 1998, Johnny Walker made the move to BBC Radio 2, where his career would truly flourish. He began by hosting a Saturday afternoon show, but his major breakthrough came when he took over from John Dunn and presented a show from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Thursday. Walker became an integral part of Radio 2, and his show was one of the station's most popular during the late 1990s and 2000s. In 1999, Johnny Walker's career was momentarily derailed by a tabloid scandal, but he returned to the airwaves soon after, hosting his drive time show on Radio 2. During the 2000s, he continued to bring music, interviews, and stories to his listeners, earning a reputation for his professionalism and his deep love of music. In 2006, he retired from hosting drive time on Radio 2 and moved to Sunday afternoons, where he hosted Sounds of the 70s. Walker's commitment to his audience remained unwavering throughout his career, even as he faced personal health challenges. In 2003, he revealed that he had been diagnosed with cancer and took time off from broadcasting to focus on his recovery. He returned to the airwaves in 2004, resuming his show and continuing his work for BBC Radio 2. In 2006, he also began to host documentary programs and interviews with musicians. In 2009, Johnny Walker began hosting Pirate BBC Essex, a special program celebrating the history of pirate radio. The show highlighted the impact that pirate stations like Radio Caroline had on British radio, and Walker's deep connection to that era added an extra layer of authenticity to the broadcasts. He continued to host Sounds of the 70s and The Rock Show until 2024, when his health began to decline. On October 6, 2024, Johnny Walker announced his retirement from broadcasting after 58 years of work due to his worsening health. His final show aired on October 27, 2024, with emotional tributes from artists like Rod Stewart, who thanked Walker for playing his music on the radio over the years. Walker's last broadcast included his final song, Amazing Grace, by Judy Collins, and marked the end of an era in British radio. He was replaced by Bob Harris on Sounds of the 70s, while Sean Keaveney took over The Rock Show. Walker's personal life was just as eventful as his professional career. He married Frances Cum in 1971, and the couple had 2 children, a daughter named Beth and a son named Sam. After his divorce, he married Tiggy Gatfield in 2002. Tiggy was a key part of his life, and together, they became patrons of Carers UK, a charity supporting people who care for others with serious health conditions. Tiggy published a book in 2015 detailing her own battle with breast cancer, with all proceeds going to the charity. In 2024, Walker was diagnosed with idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis, a condition that led to inflammation in his lungs. He continued broadcasting from his home in Dorset, where his wife, Tiggy, cared for him full-time. Despite his illness, he remained upbeat and continued to work until his health declined significantly. On December 31, 2024, Johnny Walker passed away at the age of 79. His death was announced by the BBC, and tributes poured in from fans, artists, and colleagues. Helen Thomas, head of BBC Radio 2, expressed the heartbreak felt by the entire station, while BBC Director General Tim Davie praised Walker for being a pioneer of pop radio and a champion of great music. Walker's widow, Tiggy, expressed her pride in her husband's strength and humor until the end, noting that he would be celebrating New Year's Eve with a stash of great musicians in heaven. Johnny Walker leaves behind a legacy as one of the most influential and beloved broadcasters in British history, a true pioneer in the world of radio. His dedication to music, his listeners, and his passion for storytelling made him a household name, and his impact on the radio industry will be felt for generations to come. Cillian Murphy is an Irish actor whose distinctive performances and ability to embody complex characters have earned him a reputation as one of the most versatile and compelling actors of his generation. Born on May 25, 1976, in Douglas, a suburb of Cork, Ireland, Murphy grew up in a family with strong academic and artistic inclinations. His father, Brendan, worked for the Irish Department of Education, while his mother was a French teacher. He was the eldest of 4 children and was raised in a supportive, intellectually stimulating household that valued education and creativity. From an early age, Murphy exhibited a natural flair for performance. While his initial interests leaned toward music rather than acting, he and his younger brother Piety formed a band called the Sons of Mr. Green Jeans during their teenage years. Murphy played guitar and sang, demonstrating his artistic versatility and passion for the arts. Despite his deep interest in music, he also excelled academically, and this led him to study law at University College Cork. However, Murphy's heart was not in the legal profession, and he dropped out during his first year to pursue a career in the arts, a decision that would prove pivotal. Murphy's first foray into acting came in the late 1990s when he joined Cork's Corcadorca Theatre Company. His breakout role was in their stage production of Disco Pigs, 1996, written by Enda Walsh. The play was a critical success and toured internationally, allowing Murphy to gain recognition for his raw talent and ability to convey complex emotions. His performance as Pig, a troubled teenager with an intense bond to his childhood friend Runt, showcased his ability to disappear into a character, a skill that would define his career. Murphy transitioned to film in the late 1990s and early 2000s, beginning with smaller Irish films like Sunburn, 1999, and On the Edge, 2001. However, it was his role in Danny Boyle's post-apocalyptic thriller 28 Days Later, 2002, that catapulted him to international fame. Playing Jim, a bicycle courier who awakens from a coma to find himself in a world devastated by a deadly virus, Murphy brought vulnerability and resilience to the role. The film's critical and commercial success established him as a leading actor and a rising star in Hollywood. Following the success of 28 Days Later, Murphy's career gained momentum. He was cast in a variety of roles that showcased his range and depth as an actor. In Neil Jordan's Breakfast on Pluto, 2005, he delivered a tour-de-force performance as Patrick "Kitten" Braden, a transgender woman searching for love and acceptance in 1970s Ireland. Murphy's nuanced portrayal earned him widespread acclaim and a Golden Globe nomination, further solidifying his reputation as a fearless and transformative performer. Murphy's collaboration with director Christopher Nolan marked a significant chapter in his career. He first worked with Nolan in Batman Begins, 2005, portraying the villainous Dr. Jonathan Crane, also known as Scarecrow. Murphy's eerie and cerebral performance made him a standout in the ensemble cast, and he reprised the role in The Dark Knight, 2008, and The Dark Knight Rises, 2012. His association with Nolan continued in the mind-bending sci-fi thriller Inception, 2010, where he played Robert Fisher, a man targeted for corporate espionage. Murphy's ability to convey emotional depth amidst the film's intricate plot and stunning visuals was a testament to his skill. Perhaps one of Murphy's most iconic roles came in 2013 when he was cast as Thomas Shelby, the cunning and charismatic leader of the Shelby crime family, in the BBC series Peaky Blinders. Set in post-World War I Birmingham, the series followed the rise of the Shelbys as they navigated the criminal underworld and political intrigue. Murphy's portrayal of Thomas Shelby was magnetic. He brought a quiet intensity and moral complexity to the character, making him both fearsome and sympathetic. The series was a global phenomenon, running for 6 seasons and earning a dedicated fan base. Murphy's performance became a cultural touchstone, solidifying his status as a leading actor of his generation. While Peaky Blinders dominated much of Murphy's career during the 2010s, he continued to take on diverse roles in film. In Red Eye, 2005, a psychological thriller directed by Wes Craven, he played Jackson Ripner, a charming yet menacing terrorist. In The Wind That Shakes the Barley, 2006, directed by Ken Loach, he portrayed Damien O'Donovan, a young doctor who joins the Irish Republican Army during the Irish War of Independence. The film won the Palme d'Or at the Cannes Film Festival, and Murphy's performance was widely praised for its emotional authenticity and depth. Murphy's collaborations with directors who valued his unique abilities extended to his work with auteur filmmakers like John Krasinski in A Quiet Place Part 2, 2020, and Ben Wheatley in Free Fire, 2016. His roles often explored themes of identity, morality, and the human condition, underscoring his intellectual approach to acting. Murphy's commitment to his craft was evident in his meticulous preparation for roles, including extensive research and physical transformations. In 2023, Murphy took on one of the most challenging roles of his career in Christopher Nolan's biographical drama Oppenheimer. Playing J. Robert Oppenheimer, the theoretical physicist known as the father of the atomic bomb, Murphy delivered a deeply layered performance that captured the scientist's brilliance, ambition, and moral torment. The film received critical acclaim, with Murphy's portrayal hailed as a career-defining achievement. His collaboration with Nolan on Oppenheimer marked a culmination of their long-standing creative partnership. Off-screen, Murphy is known for his private nature and aversion to the celebrity spotlight. He has often stated that he values his anonymity and prefers to let his work speak for itself. Murphy has been married to visual artist Yvonne McGuinness since 2004, and the couple has 2 sons. They reside in Dublin, where Murphy enjoys a relatively low-profile lifestyle, focusing on his family and artistic endeavors. Murphy's dedication to his craft, combined with his ability to bring depth and humanity to his characters, has made him one of the most respected actors in the industry. Whether portraying a ruthless gangster, a conflicted scientist, or a vulnerable hero, he brings an intensity and authenticity that resonates with audiences. His career is a testament to the power of storytelling and the transformative nature of acting. As of 2024, Cillian Murphy continues to captivate audiences with his performances, balancing high-profile roles with more intimate, character-driven projects. His legacy is defined not only by his exceptional talent but also by his unwavering commitment to his craft and his ability to connect with audiences on a deeply emotional level. Murphy remains a symbol of artistic excellence and integrity, inspiring both his peers and the next generation of actors. Thank you for watching. We hope this tribute helped keep the memory of these legends alive. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more stories. Until next time, take care and keep their legacies in your heart.